In the modern day, we have a new order that is known as the Ordo Templi Orientis, and we might look at them as the modern Illuminati or the modern Black Magicians of Atlantis. Now, they are known as the Order of the Eastern Templars, relating themselves back to the Knights Templar or the Oriental Templars. And they're based on Crowley's Book of the Law that was transcribed to him by extra-dimensional contact with a being named Awas. This book proclaimed that there would be a new aeon in human thought, culture, and religion. The new aeon is the age of Horus, or the age of the crowned and conquering child. Within Thelema, they have the belief in the Scarlet Woman, the whore of Babylon. And many have played this role to this day. You will find them often in the depictions of our celebrities. You will find everyone that meets the queen dresses in blood red. Lady Gaga herself has taken this to a whole nother level in creating a perfume line of her own, which includes male semen and genetically crafted blood samples of Lady Gaga. Now, if you realize that a single semen can actually hold 37.5 megabytes of data, that means that over 1,500 gigabytes of data are coming out of you with each ejaculation. And what happens when we can control and program that data? So as you start to look to your technological wizardry and everything starts to come before you, and you see the signs of symbols before you, Steve Jobs told you that this symbol was actually the bitten apple from Snow White, given to you by a witch to put you to sleep. That's what Steve Jobs said. Or you could believe that it actually came from the serpent of the Tree of Life, as this symbol, of course, is a satanic logo. Well, you can carry on with your day-to-day mining, dig, 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 never knowing why, trying to get your bling. But the truth of the story is that the sky might be falling.
This idea that these aliens are actually demons in disguise is not just a Christian idea. Jacques Vallée, the author of a book called Messengers of Deception, said this in an interview.
In your books, particularly your most recent book, Messengers of Deception, which is many years old, you suggest that UFOs are deliberately trying to manipulate our subconscious mind to create a mythology in our culture about themselves, which is one of the reasons that they're both physical and concrete, yet very elusive at the same time. Do you still feel that way?
I think that from my own point of view, I'm going to be very disappointed if UFOs turn out to be nothing more than visitors from another planet, because I think they could be something much more interesting.
Something from another dimension of space or time?
Here are objects, I think we have to call them objects, that are physical, that interact with the environment, that cause effects on the witnesses, on the psychology and the physiology of the witnesses, and leave traces on the ground, and yet are appear to be capable of manipulating time and space in ways that go beyond what our physics understands today.
Eddie Bravo, on a podcast with Joe Rogan, talks about William Cooper, the author of Behold a Pale Horse, and how while working with the military actually believed in aliens and UFOs because he saw them with his own eyes, but then began to wonder if he was being deceived.
William Cooper, he wrote Behold a Pale Horse. He wrote that book. He's like probably considered the Helio Gracie of conspiracy theories, William Cooper. He was in charge of putting together the documents for these top secret Office of Naval Intelligence meetings. He thought they're trying to get us to believe in aliens so they could fake an alien attack, so that'll usher in the New World Order. Because what happens if the aliens attack? We all unite. And all the movies, you see them in the movies like, oh, they're attacking, let's call China. We're all together, we all unite. That's the whole purpose of everything. William Cooper, he was the guy who he was like, aliens exist. I'm looking at these documents. They're having these meetings about this crash. He's got his own little private radio and then he's like, oh, these are setting me up. This is all. He goes, they're setting up a fake alien invasion. That's what they're doing.
Okay. Or could it be manipulated purposely by people who have the technology to simulate UFO sightings? And people say, well, of course not. Who would do a thing like that? Well, I would remind you that during the Watergate investigation, it was discovered that there was a plan originated in the White House to surface a submarine off the coast of Cuba and paint the second coming of Christ over the island of Cuba using holograms, which is well within our technology today.
Buddy, are you okay? Are you okay? Everything's gonna be okay, buddy. Randy! Randy! Randy, please! Gary's so
There is no longer any doubt unidentified flying objects are real. This one was seen by now retired Navy pilot Alex Dietrich in her F-18 off the coast of California.
UFO sightings in New York have nearly doubled since the pandemic began, and we are getting new video from the Navy showing pyramid-shaped objects flying in the sky.
These cell phone photos taken by a FA-18 pilot in March of 2019 show 3 different unidentified aircrafts off the coast of Oceania. A Department of Defense spokesperson said, quote, I can confirm that the referenced photos and videos were taken by Navy personnel. The Unidentified Aerial Phenomena Task Force has included these incidents in their ongoing examinations.
A U.S. intelligence report on UFOs is expected to be released very soon.
The long-awaited Pentagon report on UFOs has finally been released.
Friday, the U.S. government released a much-anticipated report on everything it knows about UFOs.
Now, the study released on Friday found only one of those can be explained, just one.
If you're watching this, you're probably a lot like I was. As far back as I can remember, I've always been intrigued with the paranormal, aliens and ghosts and UFOs. And I can remember being in a public school in elementary school, checking out books on ghosts and aliens. And these were books in the non-fiction section. These were photographs with anomalies that looked like ghosts and aliens and UFOs. And I always wanted to know the answer, what's out there? Sadly, the church didn't provide me with the answers I was looking for, and I went down the road of the occult. When the disciples asked Jesus what would the signs be like of the last days, he always talked about deception. Let no man deceive you by any means. And in Revelation 12:9 it says, and the great dragon was cast out, that old serpent called the devil and Satan, which deceiveth the whole world. Again, we see these signs and miracles that are being presented by false Christs and false prophets. The purpose of this documentary is to do what Ephesians 5:11 says, and have no fellowship with the unfruitful works of darkness, but rather expose them. The media is no longer calling these sightings swamp gas and weather balloons, and it isn't tinfoil hat-wearing conspiracy theorists that are saying UFOs are among us. Now it is the military.
To fighter pilots who reported seeing unidentified flying objects.
Every day for at least a couple years.
This was extremely abrupt, like a ping pong ball bouncing off a wall. The ability to hover over the water and then start a vertical climb from basically zero up towards about 12,000 feet and then accelerate in less than 2 seconds and disappear is something I had never seen in my life.
In my position as the ranking member of terrorism and counterintelligence, we need to know what this is.
It's clear to see that pop culture is obsessed with outer space and aliens and UFOs. You can hardly watch a kid's show or movie or a comic book or an advertisement that doesn't show a UFO or an alien. And it's not just in worldly entertainment, it's also in Christian media.
And I'm Bubbles from the Elevation Church Kids podcast, Adventures of the Starkeepers.
Around March of 2009, History Channel had a new show called Ancient Aliens. This took the idea of believing in aliens from your wacky fringe theorist to the scientific and historical world. The show propagates the ancient astronaut theory, which is the idea that ancient civilized cultures were actually higher advanced technologically than we had ever thought. They show ancient sculptures that depict men wearing suits that look like astronaut suits. They show ancient artworks and etchings and sculptures that resemble alien grays and flying saucers. Is there a reason for all this propaganda? Could there possibly be an agenda to why the leaders of the world would want us to believe this idea that alien creatures are flying around in our atmosphere?
getting new video from the Navy showing pyramid-shaped objects.
The last card is the alien card, and all of it is a lie.
Frankly, there are a lot more sightings than have been made public, movements that are hard to replicate, that we don't have the technology for.
We don't have it, they don't have it. The question is, who has it? Who's operating these vehicles?
The information is very compelling. It's real.
Okay, it's real. Are they from another planet?
If it's not ours and it's not theirs, well, then it's someone or something else.
I can't wait for this report to come out.
In our obsession with antagonisms of the moment, we often forget how much unites all the members of humanity. Perhaps we need some outside universal threat to make us recognize this common bound. I occasionally think how quickly our differences worldwide would vanish if we were facing an alien threat from outside this world. And yet, I ask you, is not an alien force already among us?
Ironically, 32 years later, on December 20th, 2019, President Trump unveiled the newest branch of the military.
Because space is the world's newest warfighting domain.
The United States.
U.S. intelligence agencies have less than 6 months to disclose what they know about UFOs.